Welcome to another edition of Progressive Retail. I'm your host, Cory Mosley. As always, thanks for tuning in. Today, we're talking Progressive F&I with superstar F&I trainer and founder, Shaka Dyson. Let's get started. I've got a special guest for us today. It's Shaka Dyson. He's the founder and CEO of F&I University. He's a killer F&I trainer. One of the gets me fired up. I turn on a YouTube. I'm not even in the F&I department, and I want to go spin some paper. So, Shaka, thank you for joining us today.
Come on. Hey, listen, I love the introduction, man. I couldn't be happier to be on your show, man.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you can join us today because, again, we have a great F&I show that runs on the network there. But I wanted to take a little different tact and talk to you a little bit today to get some of your ideas, get some of your strategies, because I know you like to keep people fired up, but also you're on Progressive Retail. So I said, let me get one of the most progressive guys I know in the F&I world on the show today. So what I wanted to start with is, traditionally, right, F&I department, now I come from the desk, the front end, BC, internet, the floor. So there's there's always been a bit of the Hatfields and the McCoys when it came from F&I and the desk, right? Who's moving money? Who's moving the gross? Talk to me today. Talk to me about where that progress, have we made progress in that area? What's happening in today's F&I office?
Yeah, so it's like you said, the Hatfield and McCoys between the sales desk and F&I. That's the approach of the past. You mentioned progressive retail, and it's something that I teach and instill in the F&I managers through Dealer F&I University. And first of all, the reason that issue exists, I've been in it 18 years now, right? And the reason that issue exists is because we've got F&I managers that rely too heavily on the desk to help the F&I managers. They need the desk to pencil deals that maybe have a little bit of rate spread in it, maybe that shows a little bit of love to the F&I managers. And that becomes the issue where F&I managers bump heads with the desk because the desk job is not to help the F&I department. The desk job is to eat up market share, to close deals, help salespeople eat up market share. That's what a dealership's job to do. That's the desk job. And so that's the reason why the issue exists. Now, the way to solve that issue is what I teach, and that's simply F&I managers standing on their own. Right? Becoming beasts on their own, gaining that F&I muscle, gaining that F&I intellect, and becoming great on their own without ever needing the sales desk. And as a matter of fact, going one step further, us F&I managers getting out on the showroom floor and helping the sales desk close deals and eat up market share. That's how we bridge that gap. That's how it's done, and that's the progressive retail I think that you were talking about, and that's the progressive retail that I teach. I teach us F&I people how to be great on our own without needing help from anyone.
I love that, and most people won't know. Obviously, they don't know when we film the show. They don't know it's like first thing in the morning and you're already jacked up, ready to go. I love it.
Come on.
So digital. So let's shift to digital for a minute. Now, obviously, digital affects everything, right? The car buying process, gross profit, invoice on vehicles, incentives. How are some of the progressive F&I managers now dealing with the barrage of online financing, warranties, after sale, all these things that consumers can do post-sale that they're being marketed maybe outside of the dealership? What are the progressive F&I managers doing now?
Yeah, first thing is we got to meet the customers where they are. Okay. The yesteryear was, hey, we meet the customers when they walk in our store, when they get back to our F&I department. But now we have to meet the customers where they are. We have to meet the customers online. We have to meet the customers at the sites that they go to get the information, right? We have to meet the customers on their turf, not ours. That's the first thing. That's the first way to get progressive. The second way is to address their concerns. And what I mean by that is there's only a few reasons why a customer will go to a credit union, right, versus coming doing financing with us. They trust the credit union, right? They've got a long relationship with the credit union. Right. And furthermore, they think that they'll get better financing from that credit union
on approval.
With us.
Or an approval. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen some paper that wouldn't go conventional that the credit union wrote the check on, right?
Yeah, that is the perception,
Yeah.
right? So those are the reasons, and we have to address those. We have to meet the customer again where they are and on their turf. The reason why customers would look to go online to buy a warranty, right, or call up these commercials on these warranties that they end up going out of business a month later. We have to meet the customers where they are. Right? And so what I mean by that is we have to address the warranty concern. Listen, folks, you're going to purchase a warranty anyway. You might as well purchase that service contract. It's a service contract, not a warranty, number one. But you need to purchase that service contract at the same place where you felt comfortable enough to purchase the vehicle. You already spent $30,000. If you're going to, in fact, spend extra money to purchase an extended service contract, then you need to purchase it at the same place that you felt comfortable spending that $30,000, the same place where you can actually walk into an office, ask me questions, the person who sold it to you, and go a step further. You actually want to purchase it from the same place that if you want to see your service contract in action, all you got to do is walk back to that service department and see it for yourself. That's the place that you need to purchase a service contract from, not from a toll-free number on a commercial somewhere where the warranty company or service contract company is going to go out of business. See, that's meeting that customer on their turf and on their terms.
So let me ask you this: everybody's talking about customer experience, right? The customer experience movement. It's super important to the marketplace. So now my question to you is, where are you in this kind of iPad? Like, everybody thinks first off that the iPad solves everything, right? We're gonna get an iPad and then that's customer experience. So dealer says to me, oh, I got a few extra $1,000. I'm gonna buy some iPads for the service lounge. I'm gonna buy some iPads, as if that's the piece. So I wanted to find out, are you bought into the iPad customer experience methodology, and how does that? Where do you think that fits into the F&I process?
Absolutely not. No. Here's the deal with the iPad. Let me explain this to you real quick. An iPad can't sell products. People do, right? So an iPad doing a digital presentation or showing numbers or information on an iPad doesn't equate to customer service. Let me explain to you what equates the fastest way to get customer service out of F&I. Speed. Speed is power. In F&I, speed is customer service. Having a great attitude, showing them speed, taking advantage, making the customer understand that we value their time and we're not there to waste it. That's customer service. Rolling out the red carpet, being transparent, full disclosure, having a great attitude, being welcoming to the customer. That's customer service, not an iPad. An iPad does nothing but show information. That's it. That's all it is. It's just digital writing on a pad. That's all.
But do you feel like people feel more comfortable though? Like, oh, now they have the iPad and it reduces buyer apprehension. It changes potentially the state of play where, we all know customers who've just walked in and said, hey, no matter what, I'm not buying anything, right? You haven't even gotten a presentation out, haven't even gone to a worksheet of any kind. But it's this ease, it's friendly, I must trust it more. Do you not think there's an impact there at all?
Now listen to me, Zillow can't sell a house, right? It takes a realtor to sell a house, right? An iPad can't sell product, all right? It takes an F&I manager, a skilled F&I manager to sell product. Unfortunately, F&I managers of the past have earned the bad reputation that has caused customers to be leery and look to iPads, or dealers to look to iPads, and customers to look to credit unions and 1-800 commercials for warranties. It's the bad reputation that have been earned in the past. But like you said, progressive retail, right? Retail of tomorrow, right? The skill set that's necessary in order to accomplish great goals in the dealership as far as F&I is concerned of tomorrow. And that's gaining that skill set today. Customer service, customer satisfaction is number one.
All right, so I think I know the answer to my next question though then. So I wanted to see where you stood on this idea of the single rep, this customer experience, and the other ideology and methodology being that tying the customer to one person, starting with the meet and greet, working the deal, penciling the deal, doing the F&I paperwork, delivering the car. This idea of the methodology that the customer experience can be strengthened by having a consumer only deal with one person.
No. No.
I said I think you already knew. I already knew where you were going to be on this issue after hearing you.
Yeah, listen. This idea has been floating around, right? Take an example. About 2 months ago, Penske had a store out in Phoenix doing this, and he stopped it. He stopped the store from doing it because what's happening is that the salespeople, everybody doing it, the salesperson doing sales and F&I doesn't work because salespeople, as they should, are concentrating on hitting numbers in sales. They're not concentrating on selling F&I product, generating F&I revenue. Think about this. An F&I manager is the most trained manager in the store. And what I mean by that is that when a person gets hired in the F&I, the first thing a dealer wants to do or GM wants to do is send them to school. Right? There's no other position that sends a manager to school unless you're a GM.
Should be, though. There should be, though.
1,000%.
Okay.
100,000,000% agreed. However, as it is right now, it's the F&I department. We have so many standards that we have to abide by. We are the most micro-reported department in a dealership. So being skilled in F&I is unique, number one, and is ultra important. We are the revenue department. We are the most profitable square footage in a dealership. 71 pennies of every dollar goes to the net in the dealership in F&I. So having a salesman do the entire process isn't going to equate to revenue. It's not going to equate to anything except for units, except for sales. As a matter of fact, the dealer group that I worked for, where I ran the F&I department for 34 dealerships across 5 states. We bought 2 dealerships in Orlando that practiced that same practice, and the reason being is because they had no revenue. They were always in the red on their financial statements, month in and month out, because they had no revenue.
All right, I ask everybody this question. I want you to look into your crystal ball for me and tell me your opinion on automotive retail, F&I automotive retail within the next 24 months. What predictions do you have for our viewers?
In the next 24 months, automotive retail or more specifically F&I?
F&I, dealership, F&I, automotive dealership, F&I.
Okay, so here's the change. Here's the curve that's going to happen in the next 24 months as far as F&I is concerned. Hopefully, this is what I'm working toward. We are weeding out the bad apples in F&I, and I'm trying to get dealers to understand that we need to focus on hiring salespeople into F&I or new F&I managers, giving new F&I managers opportunities, or making sure that people who have the backgrounds or the resumes or the experience to been in the business, that they acquire the correct skill set. That the skill set that earned and the reputation that was earned in the yesteryear is no longer valid today. It's no longer okay. So I think that the next 24 months we're going to be weeding out the bad apples and moving in the new school. It's the new school. You teach new school. So it's moving in the new school people with the new school thinking so we can get new school results.
Well, that's our show for today. I want to thank F&I University's founder and CEO, Shaka Dyson, for joining us. As always, visit mosleyautomotive.com to find out more about how we're helping dealers become more progressive and profitable. This has been another edition of Progressive Retail, exclusively on the CBT Automotive Network. I'm Cory Mosley, and I'll see you next week.